Hey everybody, Hunter back again from Showtime Studios. Going to do a quick little tutorial here today on something I've been asked about recently on the YouTube. Somebody wanted to know how to mask off for the modern style glass where it has the black tinted area around it. So I'm going to do a quick little tutorial to show you how I go about doing that, and give you some, tips and tricks and ideas, and see which one works the best for you. So we'll pan the camera down here and we'll get right into this. Okay, what we're going to be working with is the glass that is going in my 90 Mustang build. I'm going to be using it for the tutorial, and what we're talking about here is this is actually a Revell glass. And around the outside edges of that, you can see where it is shaded. There is a slight raised lip around there. Now this is on the inside of the glass, and what that is where it would be painted black. Now a lot of people go in and try to freehand this stuff, and I see it all the time at the shows. That's something there that you'd almost have to be an artist to go in and freehand this and make it look good. It can be done, but I think there's better ways out there to do it, and much cleaner ways. Now on this one, when you get to the very corners on what would actually be your mask, this one here happens to be square on the corners. It doesn't have the radius in it. So there's an option for doing that, and I'll show you that first. If you do have the square corners like this, one of the easy ways to go about doing that is to take, let me get the right size masking tape here. Here we go. This is going to be 6mm from Tamiya is what I'll be using on this, and we're just going to tear off a piece. And how I go about doing this sometimes is I'll take the masking tape, and you basically want to come in right against the shaded part of your glass and put your masking tape down. And as soon as I get this down here, I'll hold it up here at the camera and show you what we've done. There we go, that looks pretty good. Now, what I would do in this situation here, you can see that I've got that one corner or that one edge there masked off. What I would do is take my airbrush, and after I taped off the outside of the glass and basically tape off the side in here, just roughly, I would take my airbrush and spray just this little band right here that we have taped. And that would be my first stage. And then I would pull masking off the inside, and you can take, at that point, depending on what paint you're using, I use Tamiya acrylics when I'm doing this, so they dry like, almost instantly when it comes to taping things off, and so you don't really have a lot of lag time. And then, just take your tape and bring it back around until you line it up with the top edge of your windshield, and this would be right against the shaded portion of the glass. And then you just tape off the bottom down here on the inside and just airbrush this across here. So now you would have this side done, and this side here would be done. After that's done and dried up enough where you can go and tape back over it, you just want to move your tape around to this side, do the same thing, and at the bottom do the same thing. That's one way to do it. A little bit time consuming, but can be done. A lot of times when I'm sitting here just at the bench and I have a small band like that to spray, I will do it with just a single piece of masking tape and the airbrush turned way down. Now, like if you have a Tamiya kit, they come with what's called a window mask, that basically you pull it off the backing sheet and you put it right down, and it lines up right in between these shaded lines, and it creates a mask, one-piece mask, and then you put it down, smooth it out, spray it, and you're done. You can also create a one-piece mask out of masking tape. I prefer to do it out of bare metal foil because it's a little bit easier to cut. So I'm going to show you that technique now. So what we have here is I went ahead and did the, this is the windshield, and I'll hold it up here and you can see the raised edge. There it is. See the raised edge around the inside of the glass there? That's actually the edge of the shaded part where you would want that to be painted black. And once I've got the bare metal foil down there and that edge shows up, pretty much to get the edge to show up, I just took my Q-tip and ran around that line to get it to show up real well. I don't have the outside of this taped off yet. The next step that I do is I will go ahead and come along the outside of the glass and cut off the excess bare metal foil. Some people would take this and roll it over on the outside edge. I don't like doing that. I don't really know why I don't like doing it. It just doesn't, it's something that I just don't do. I just like to be a little bit clean about how I mask things off, and so I do it this way. But I mean, if you wanted to take that and actually roll it around the outside of the glass, I guess you could. To show you what I'm talking about, you could actually take this little flap here and fold it around the outside of the glass. You could do that if you wanted to. I don't do that myself. So, and I just shave that off. Once I get that shaved off, I'll make sure that my line is nice and visible, and then I'll lay the part down. And this is where you got to have a steady hand, and you know, this is going to take a little bit of practice and a little bit of experience, but you just want to lay your knife lightly on that line. And you want to come right around your raised section with your hobby knife, very slowly. Patience is critical at this point. You don't want to get off the line, because if you do, it's not going to be covered up by the paint. So you want to make sure that you get this as clean as you can get it. So, you know, the only way I can stress this is you have to take your time and you have to do this very cleanly. I'm hardly putting any pressure against this. Okay, I'm up to the top, and then let's come right around this edge here. And now we're going to go across the top edge of the windshield. And like I say, just taking your time. You've got a perfect guide there because you have that raised edge, so just, you know, take your time and keep your knife blade right on that edge, and it'll give you a nice clean line. And now we are back to where we started. And now you just want to pull up the edge of your bare metal foil. I'll get a hold of it here. One of the bad things about smoothing down bare metal foil is it can be a bear to get back off. Like when we did the tutorial on the door, I said don't smooth it out all the way. This is one of the reasons, because it can be hard to get back off once you smooth it down with a Q-tip. And get a hold of it and get started here, we'll be okay. There we go. Now we're rolling along. Alright, and all I'm doing now is just pulling the excess off of the shaded area, which is what we want to paint black. And now remember, for you guys that are beginners or, you know, intermediates or whatever that haven't done a lot of this, this is on the inside of the glass. It is not on the outside. The factory puts that band on the inside of the glass, so that is what we're trying to replicate here on our model. get another edge started here again so we can get the rest of this excess off of here. Nope, that one didn't go. And when you're using a blade like this to get it started, you know, make sure you're being very careful and very light with it, because you don't want to scratch the glass. Even though you're painting over top of this, if you put a scratch in it, you're going to see it. So we're almost there. There we go. We are there. Now what we have created is a mask out of bare metal foil, and the next step of that procedure there would be on the outside of the glass. Take your, in this case it's the Maya masking tape, because that's what I recommend. That's all that I use. And before you get ready to spray this, you would just take your tape and stick this to the outside of the glass, covering the whole outside of the surface with the tape, just like that. Now most times with this, when I'm doing this, I will just mask the glass just like that and leave the excess, and then I will come in with the airbrush and spray all the way around this, and I will also spray the edge of the glass. It gives you a much better line definition, and when you get it done and the finished product and you look at it, you will tell the difference in doing it that way. So like I say, now you could use a spray can on this if you wanted to. Don't really recommend it, but if you did light coats, you could do this with a spray can. And once you're at that point there and you've got it painted and everything's dry, you just pretty much pull your mask off the outside of the glass. And I'm not going to pull this piece of bare metal foil, because I'm actually going to use this on this model since I've got it done now. And you just come in with you know, the tip of your number 11 blade and just lightly get underneath the edge of that and start peeling the bare metal foil up. And what that'll leave is clear glass in the center with the black painted edge, and that's all there is to it. So hopefully that gives you an idea on how I go about masking off for the later model glass that has the black band around it, and gives you a couple different ways of doing it and ideas. So like always, if you have any questions or concerns, just leave me a comment on the video. I'll be more than glad to get back to you. And I thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.